You can't keep avoiding TikTok for your small business. It's really not as hard as you think it is, and it allows you to access your target market like no other social media platform using the tips I'm about to give you in this video. I literally went from making £20.93 in August to making £734.67 in September, and then even more the month after. Crazy. I know. Anyways, enough yapping. Let's get into the video, shall we? I don't know if I was too close, I just moved back a bit, but anyway, let's go. First of all, why? Why would you want to use TikTok for your small business? Elephant in the room, let me address it. I've got my notes written down. You know it's going to be a juicy one. Look how much I've got. So maybe grab a cuppa, because I feel like it's going to be a long one. Okay, first of all, the reach on TikTok is literally insane. There's 8 billion people on this planet and 2 billion of those are on TikTok. By posting on TikTok, you'll be reaching people from all over the world pretty easily as well. Even on TikTok lives, creators and small businesses have seen so much success. Made by Mitchell very famously made £1 million in one day on live on TikTok. Is that true? I think that is true. I'll leave a screenshot of the article here. And I think P. Louise then did the same, but even smaller accounts have loads of success on lives. Oso Floral is where I get all my plants from, and I discovered them through TikTok lives, and I don't think I've been on one of their lives without buying something, not gonna lie. But anyways, I'll stop talking about lives because that's not really what I'm focusing on in this video. I feel like it could be its whole own video, and to be honest, I don't actually know much about TikTok lives. I don't go live. I have before, but I just don't have the time. I have 2 kids under 4 years old and I home educate both of them, so I do not have the time to go live as it stands, but I do post short form video content on TikTok. So back to what I was saying, TikTok focuses more on your content than how many followers you have or how many views your previous videos have got. So the TikTok algorithm works really hard to kind of push your videos to the people that want to see them. If you've ever been on TikTok as a user, you'll know you literally build your For You page brick by brick. The platform is very good at giving you stuff that they know that you'll like. They obviously want to keep you on the app, right? So if you're creating a good quality video, which I will go a bit more into later, then it will reach your target market, I promise you. But even as well as getting videos on your For You page, a lot of people use TikTok as a search engine. I definitely do. If I ever want to go to a new restaurant, or if I'm looking for bookshops or things to do in a certain location because I'm going on holiday somewhere I've never been before, or whatever it is, I'm always using TikTok as a search engine. I read something that said that there was a study that found like 40% of consumers use TikTok as a search engine to discover new ideas and products, and 64% of Gen Z does that. So especially if you're making sure you're optimizing your videos in terms of SEO, if you're providing educational value, if you're providing tips and tricks or showing someone something that they may search for, then you could be found on TikTok. There's a really high conversion rate for sales as well. I think over half of the people in the UK have purchased something that they've seen advertised on TikTok. People love a good unboxing, try on haul, product recommendation. So it kind of essentially works as a word of mouth. The more you post, the more times people are going to come across you and your brand, your products, and so on. And then if people then do an unboxing of your product as well, or recommend that on their own TikTok account, then the ball just keeps rolling, right? And this works whether you link your products through TikTok Shop and tag them in your video, or you just put a link in your bio and do like a call to action for people to do that. Although that is a bit of a risky thing to do on TikTok because they might censor your videos by trying to get them off the app. Obviously, TikTok wants people to stay on the app, but most people use their brain enough to know if you're advertising a product that there's somewhere to buy this product, right? They're going to go to the link in your bio, even if you don't explicitly say, oh, go and shop the link in my bio. To be honest, I think they're more likely to do it if you don't beg them to do it. I find when I do tag a product in my video in the little yellow basket, it doesn't reach as many people. And I think TikTok's algorithm is a bit more strict with those videos, those TikTok Shop videos, and they only recommend it to people they actually think are going to purchase it. So because of the lack of exposure, I just don't think that it's worth it for me, in my opinion, to sell through TikTok Shop in that way by linking them in my videos. I would much rather just make content about me, my business, my products, and get people to shop through my website. I will dig a little deeper into TikTok Shop as a seller later, but I just wanted to give the pros of even using TikTok at all quickly before we get into the tips and tricks section. The last pro that I've got written down is the fact that even though there are definitely pros to posting long form content on YouTube, it's obvious right? That it takes so much more time to strategize, plan, record, edit, not post, but even post if you're writing description, gathering links and resources to put in the description, engaging with comments, etc. Like all of it, I feel like is much longer on YouTube. TikTok is super quick. It's really quick and easy to jump on trends. To pump out content daily is actually not that hard to do. You might put a barrier up for yourself to not do it, whether it's because you're a perfectionist and want like the best video ever, or because you think you can't think of content ideas, or whatever it is, but it's easy to post on TikTok daily. With the amount of effort that goes into making YouTube videos, the fact that the potential for reach after you hit post is nowhere near as much as it is on TikTok kind of just makes me want to say like TikTok is a better use of your time, especially if you're in the early stages or if you're struggling to reach a bigger audience, I guess. TikTok you can almost use as like a brain dump, which really helps with like having pretty much unlimited content to post on there. People connect with people, so they love seeing behind the scenes of businesses, the who and the why behind why you started your business, how you do different business related things, whether it's making products or finding a manufacturer to make the products or packing orders, whatever it is. People love to see it, and it's much quicker to pick up your phone and record a quick clip of you doing something than it is to set up a whole camera and light and microphone and then import that footage into Final Cut Pro and edit it and put on little fun edits and post that on YouTube, right? My videos that reached over 1 million views were all videos that took me either no time at all to think about because they were TikTok trends with CapCut templates that I literally put content that I already had recorded or had photos of, or I thought of and instantly just grabbed my phone and recorded, and it took less than 2 minutes to record. I uploaded it and got 1 million views on it. It's ridiculous. The stuff that I put loads of time into doesn't necessarily do well at all. And then the stuff that I pretty much don't try at all does really well. I tried to go to my TikTok analytics for you guys to scroll all the way back to the beginning to see how quick it was for me to reach 1,000 TikTok followers when I started posting. But it won't let me go back more than a year. So I'll just put a screenshot of my first few videos and how, considering they were my first few videos, the numbers are actually good. After I started posting TikTok videos more intentionally, it grew the traffic to my Etsy store like crazy. And at the time, my Etsy store was only selling digital products. So as well as being able to now have enough money to invest in physical products, it allowed me to move from Etsy to Shopify. And if you've used Etsy before, you'll know how extortionate the fees are. So I was very happy to be able to do that. Okay, so I'm not going to go through exactly how to set up a TikTok account step by step. I feel like there are definitely enough tutorials out there to do. It's kind of intuitive, low-key. You just sign up, give yourself a username, whatever. But I did want to mention these few things. First of all, make sure that you're setting up as a business account to have TikTok Shop, to be able to link your products in your videos, to be able to put them on like your live stream for people to shop while you're on live. You will need to have a TikTok seller account, which you need a TikTok business account for. So when you go on the TikTok app, sign up as a business, and then on your browser, type in TikTok for seller and sign up to be a seller. You link your TikTok business account to your TikTok seller account, and then it like fully integrates, and it's pretty self-explanatory once you've done that. I'm pretty sure you can't even put a URL in your bio if you don't have a business account. So especially if you're trying to drive people to your Etsy or Shopify or wherever else you sell things, even just putting a link tree in there, you will need a business account. You may see people out there telling you to get a personal account or a creator account because if you sign up for a business account, it does limit the audios that you can put on your videos due to copyright reasons, but that is due to copyright reasons. So you shouldn't be advertising your products using someone else's copyrighted music. So I can't really recommend that you don't sign up for a business account if you're going to advertise your products, which I'm assuming is exactly what you're going to do if you're watching this video. But I do think you get better analytics if you have a business account, so it's not all bad. You want to make sure when you are setting up your profile that you use an @ that's easy to remember in case people are going to type it in to try and find you. But even more important than that is what your name is. And mine is obviously Mon Makes Art, and I think that works especially well because it has Mon in it, which is a bit more personal, I guess, because people know my name. But if, for example, your business name was Candle Maker, you might not want your name to be Candle Maker. You could you could put, if your name was Jess, and then like the line, I don't know what it's called, candle maker. You know what I mean? So people kind of feel like they have that connection with you, not just your business, like at a more surface level. Your bio should say what your name doesn't. So again, for me, Mon Makes Art is pretty self-explanatory that Mon makes art. You know what I mean? So my bio is pretty pathetic. I'm pretty sure it just says like fun stationery and small business stuff, which to be honest is actually not bad not bad, because it tells people what to expect from my page, right? I love stationery. I'm going to be posting about that, and I also own a small business, so I'm going to be posting about that too. And that is not said in Mon Makes Art. Some people's business name and or username will have nothing to do with what the business does. Like mine, like I said, is self-explanatory, but you could be a small art business, but your name is Crazy Frog. So you're obviously not just going to repeat owner of Crazy Frog. Like it doesn't really help anything. It's not going to make anyone compelled to follow you. So you could put sticker shop based in Germany, wherever. Your photo could be your logo or your face. I find that having your face, or if for example you're an illustrator or artist, a picture or collage or whatever of your face kind of helps create that bit more of a connection. But it doesn't really matter. Mine's just my logo, not gonna lie. It's up to you. And obviously the things that you put for your bio or for your name or your display picture is not forever. You can just change that if it doesn't work, if you don't like it. Okay, now we're getting on to the nitty gritty. I'm going to start by going through equipment must-haves, and let me first and foremost say you don't need to be fancy. This is just TikTok we're talking about. You might see videos where like, wow, I'm on TikTok Premium, and yes, people do like a really good high quality video that has like out of this world cinematography, but that's not what people go to TikTok for. They go there to have a quick dopamine hit and just scroll. And as much as people love those cinematic videos, do they actually remember it when they click off the app? I don't think so. They can still be useful to have good high quality videos, but at the bare minimum, you need good, clear, well-lit visuals and clear audio. You don't need a filming light. You can just use natural light, but make sure you're using the natural light. Don't say that you're not going to invest in a filming light and then also not even make use of your natural light and just have crap lighting and no one can see what you're doing. I'm using like a big Godox light right now for my YouTube videos, but for TikTok, you can just use like a little clip-on light that goes onto the top of your phone. You definitely don't need a ring light or anything fancy. And then for audio, sometimes I'll use my cute little microphone. But again, it's just not a necessity. If you've got an iPhone, you've got more than enough already, so you can just skip the whole equipment section. If you want to start making small upgrades, some people I know use like a Sony ZV-1 or their Osmo Pocket 3. I have got this iPhone 15 Plus, I think it is, for my content, and that works great for me. Like I said, I don't even always use a mic. It's not necessary for you to make equipment upgrades, especially in the beginning, but you have to make sure that you're being mindful of your audience. You need to respect the viewer's time. You need to think when someone is really be critical of yourself, not in a bad way, but in a realistic way. If you're talking about something, wow, look at this thing that I bought today, and they can't even see it, no one's gonna watch that. No one's interested in that because the purpose of your video is not even coming across in the video. If you're doing a story time and your audio is not good, it's just pointless, right? If you saw someone else's video like that, you'd scroll straight past that video because you're not getting anything from it. So think long and hard about the quality of your videos. They don't have to be cinematic. They don't have to be 50 different angles that you spent all week editing. You can film and edit a video within an hour and that do as well as one of those cinematic videos that probably took the person weeks or months to do. There's a reason that they make those videos, and good for them that they make those videos. But in terms of growing your small business and showcasing your products or showcasing your business or you, the person behind the business, you don't need to do that. I'm definitely speaking more from a creative small business point of view. I wouldn't say that these tips are at all limited to that, but you'll understand as you watch this video. That's the experience I have with posting, right? And that's as well as my personal branded content that I make on a different account. Most of my experience is with that. In terms of what content you should put on TikTok, I would say videos that have the potential to do well fall under one of these categories. It's either entertaining, helpful, or connects on like a human level with the audience. And ideally it would be a mix of all three of those, or at least two of those, but chances are there'd at least be a main one. In terms of finding specific video ideas, I'll give you two pieces of advice. So first is about finding your target audience. You want to find videos that will find your target audience, right? If you've got a small business, I'll assume that you've already got a customer avatar. And if you don't, I highly suggest you make one. You basically just want to describe what your ideal customer is down to the very last detail. So is it a boy or a girl? How old are they? What job do they have? Do they have a partner? Do they have friends? Do they have pets or children? Do they live in a house or a flat or nowhere? What do they like to do in their spare time? What job do they have? Have I said that already? What food do they like? And so on and so forth. You need all the details. And then obviously through that customer avatar, you can create very niche and very specific videos that are for them. But even wider than that, get to know your niche. Have a look at what other small businesses like yours are posting and what's doing well for them. For me, I have a small stationery and art shop, so I will look at other stationery shops and art shops. But as well as that, what communities that your product or service kind of appeals to, like what's going on with them. In my case, it'd be like the crafty journal community. Yes, what kind of videos are trending, and that's always helpful to jump on like a TikTok trend, but also what actual things are trending in that community. For example, Sunny Angels and blind boxes, Martina's tiny store, always trending, to be honest. Everyone loves Martina, and that will help you in creating your products, but as the topic of this video is, posting TikToks. If, for example, you owned like a cafe, yes, you'd want to look at what other cafe owners are posting, but you may also want to keep up with BookTok, for example, and other kind of like intertwined crossover communities that are related, even though they're not really related to yours, if you get what I mean. Hashtags to use, which, side note, are not actually as important as they used to be, but can still help TikTok categorize your video and like help with the SEO, especially when people are searching for stuff. If you haven't explicitly like written it on the screen in your video or in the caption. Kind of linked into that point, I guess, is that one of the things I've noticed when people come to me for TikTok help is people that don't use TikTok. Of course, you're not going to know how to post on TikTok if you don't use TikTok. You have to use it in your spare time to know what the platform is about, to know what people enjoy and don't enjoy, to know the kind of formula of a successful TikTok video. It really only takes not even a second to swipe away from a video. You need to capture your audience in that first couple of seconds in that video. And by couple, I mean like literally a maximum 2 seconds in that video. If you're not using a visual hook or a verbal hook, then you've lost. And the TikTok algorithm is going to see people quickly swiping away from your videos and realize that's not a worthwhile video for me to continue pushing out. So I'm just not. And even just like navigating the app, you'll know your way around the app much better the more you use it. So just keep using it. Maybe you were clicking on this video hoping for an exact science or step-by-step list of everything you need to include in each TikTok video for it to succeed. I'm not going to give you that. Like I said, the hook is the most important thing. And if it's a longer video, more than like 7 to 30 seconds, making sure you give them like open a loop that needs to close by the end of the video. Do you know what I mean? Give some type of curiosity gap for them to know that it's worth sticking around. And depending on your niche, maybe that'll be easier or not as easy. There are obviously, for example, if you're a silversmith and you're making silver jewelry, you don't need to, hey guys, look what I've got, blah, blah, blah. You know, like the cliche hook in a video, or you'll never believe what I made in my studio today. It doesn't have to be over the top every time. If the whole point of your videos is to educate people with your videos, sometimes the more laid back content that's kind of just like, okay, today we're going to be learning how to solder. Today we're going to be learning how to set gems. You don't need to be over the top. You don't have to not be yourself. You just need to kind of realize on an app as quick as TikTok is, you need to get your point out immediately and show people what they want to see, man. And just have decent quality stuff. There's someone out there for everyone, I'm telling you. Your audience is literally waiting for you. Their For You page is like lined up and the only thing missing is your video, and you're just not going to post it because for what reason? You think TikTok is hard, or you've tried it but you're like stuck in the 200 view jail or whatever. I will say, if you're following the tips that I've just given and your video is not doing well consistently, are you actually following the tips? You need to be really honest with yourself. Is your video as good as you think it is? Sometimes people might be so proud of their editing skills because they've gone from not editing anything at all to suddenly editing this really cool video with like loads of transitions and different filters. Most people don't actually want to see that on TikTok. Most people don't like over the top whoosh, all sparkles, all this crazy music. Is your music over your audio? Stop there right now. I'm really proud of you for adding music to your video, but is the music now distracting from your video? You need to be really real with yourself, as harsh as that sounds. There's no reason though for you to be consistent on TikTok. I'll circle back to consistency in a moment, and to not see results. When it comes to creating content for TikTok, I did briefly mention like my 1 million plus viewed videos. Most of them actually didn't require any content, like any new content creation at all. I just used videos that I had in my phone or photos. And that's one thing that really, really helps with TikTok as well, is making sure that you have a folder of kind of like B-roll footage of you maybe typing at your desk, or you looking out a window, or making a coffee, or whatever it is, like those kind of filler videos, because those are the videos that you can then usually use with a trending 7-second audio and a big bunch of text on screen, and that can do super well. Or you can use them as fillers in bigger videos like vlogs or educational content. Like I did a video on my Canon printer, and most of that footage, it was footage I had already taken from other little vlogs of me making products. If I have a video idea, I don't have to then film and edit all of that to a crazy extent. You want to try and think of as many video ideas as you can for each thing that you're doing. So I'll go back to my printer example. I used to have the Canon IP8750. I actually still have her. She's over there. I can't part ways with her. But then I found the Epson EcoTank 8550 on Facebook Marketplace, which was absolutely an insane find, by the way. I think they retail for like £720 and I found it for 300. Yeah. So from that one event in my life, I made a video on my Canon printer, my pros and cons of the printer, a video of making sure people don't, like, this is your sign not to overlook Facebook Marketplace for small business buys. And then I've also posted a brief video about like the colors on the Epson, because they're really tricky. So it was actually me asking for help. But in terms of numbers, that video actually did okay. But I could have done comparing the two cameras as another video idea. Now just a whole video on my Epson EcoTank 8550, a whole new video on the color profiles and how to accurately do colors on the Epson. And that's literally from the one event of me buying a new printer on Facebook Marketplace, because who knows which of those videos could blow up, but I've maximized my chance, right? If I make them all. As I very briefly mentioned, consistency is the number one thing that you need, especially on TikTok, but pretty much for anything small business wise. You want to stay consistent, and you can have an accountability buddy or whatever works for you, but you need to find a way to make sure that you're doing what you need to do, that you're posting the videos that you said you were going to post. You may see short-term success on TikTok, posting here and there, and that's exactly what I'm experiencing. When I actually follow my own advice, I do really well. Then my neurodivergence kills me off for a period of time, and the outside world doesn't see me for a while. But if you can be consistent, that is what's going to get you consistent results. Okay, so to keep on top of all of your new tips and tricks and your posting schedule, I highly recommend using some sort of content calendar. I personally use Notion. I feel really professional and like I've got my stuff together. Do you know what I mean? When I use Notion, because I'm just click-clacking on my laptop. So that's what I would recommend. It's free. I think there is a paid version, but I don't use that. I'll leave my template down below. It's totally free. It's just to help you guys out. It has a content calendar linked here at the top. as well as this important info section. You can add to this if there are any other tips that you find along the way. There's also this milestone page. You can edit however you like. I just do mine as a database table, so I've just kept it like that for you guys, but if you know your way around Notion, then feel free to change that up. And then back to the main page, the whole main part of this is the dump and dive section. So this first column kind of acts as like a brain dump. That's how I use it. And I just, every time I get a video, I just type it in, enter, type it in, enter, type it in, enter, like new idea, and just pump them out. The list is super long. And then as that video idea progresses and you plan it, then you move it along the table, and then once you film the clips for it, then you can move it, and then once you've edited it, then you can move it, and then once you've posted it, you can archive it, and that way you can keep on top of it. And then if you follow through to the calendar, I've given all of these things little icons, so they're kind of easy to see and easy to understand. If you're gonna batch film content on a certain day, then you can input that into the content calendar. If you're gonna film back to back on this day, then you can put that in the content calendar. If you're gonna use this day to edit a video, you can put that on the calendar. If you want to post Mondays, Wednesdays and Saturdays, then you can just put it all on the calendar. What I do if I've got a product launch coming up, I'm really last minute with making my stuff, not gonna lie, but I will try to plan that the week leading up to my product launch, I'm posting more than I usually would. I will post maybe like a couple times a week. So I try and up that to posting 5 times in that week, 5 to 7 times in the week leading up to my product launch, to try and get my social media rolling a bit, hopefully get people a bit excited about some new products. And equally, once I've launched new products, to post about those products, you know, put it all in the content calendar. That's what I'm trying to say. I have a really, really terrible memory, so I can't always make it to Notion. I do just have it at the dock at the bottom of my phone, but sometimes it's just easier to iMessage myself, so I do that as well, or use my notes, especially if I'm on my iPad, because I can just tap it with my Apple Pencil and it will open the notes automatically and I can just scribble it in my notes. A final kind of bonus tip, I guess, would be to give yourself a challenge. If you don't just start and you don't do it, you're not going to do it. Do you know what I mean? Nothing changes if nothing changes. You can't just watch this video and be like, yeah, TikTok would be a good idea, and then just carry on not using TikTok. If you still haven't made a TikTok account, go now and make a TikTok account. Stop being silly. But whether you have an account or don't have an account, whether you haven't signed up yet or you've been posting, but you're just not reaching your target audience, or your views aren't converting into sales, or whatever it is, set yourself a challenge, like a 75 hard, but small business edition. Even if it's not 75, it's just 30 days. Something as simple as post 1 video a day for 30 days. It depends how much time you've got. It depends how much experience you've got. But I would say at the bare minimum, do that. Post 1 video a day for the next 30 days. Don't put off starting. Start today, depending on what time you're watching this video. Just do it. Just do it. Do it. You know what I mean? Just do it. Even if you get no viral videos out of it, or you suddenly get 100,000 followers out of it, at the very least, it will increase your confidence, your public speaking skills. It will speed up your editing process, help you realize what are your favorite type of videos to make, what is your audience's favorite types of videos to watch. And it will give you like a good batch of content to be able to say, okay, what did I do differently in this video than this video that didn't do so well? And a metric that I think is kind of overlooked is saves. Videos that get a lot of saves are generally ones that have provided a lot of value. So I do like to see where my stuff has been saved. And comments as well are great, because you can then respond to the comments either by a comment or using a video, which then gives you another content idea to do, especially if someone's saying like, oh, how do you like this sticker paper? Then you can do a video replying to the comment and talking about that sticker paper. But whatever, just pick a challenge and do it. And if you can't think of one, then I've picked it for you. It's the 1 video a day for the next 30 days. And that's pretty much it. Am I forgetting stuff? Probably. But that's all I got right now. If I think of anything else, I'll be back, don't you worry. If you like small business kind of content, then maybe you'll like my channel, who knows. I have a small stationery and art business, and I post stationery and art stuff on here, as well as small business stuff. Just to wrap up, I did want to say though, even worst case scenario, you are as bad at content creation or whatever as you think you are, then the only way is up, no? That's how we learn, by doing things. So put yourself out there and be unapologetic about it. You deserve to succeed, so stop getting in your own way.